Welcome to the DIY3DTech.com channel.
Welcome. One of the things I wanted to do as we were going through the TwoUp build process, as we mentioned, we were going to be, just from the onset, printing a lot of the new parts and starting out with the new parts rather than building in the stock configuration. So we got a number of them printed. For example, like this base for the Arduino Mega. I still have to do a little bit of cleanup, really just trying to get the prints through the printer. So we're running it basically 24 hours a day. The DaVinci 3D, and it's doing a great job. So all this is this ABS, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But anyways, yeah, what I want to do is build an open mounting board to put this in the power supply and everything. But what I really wanted to focus on today was the Gantry. This is the modified Gantry that you see all over the internet for the TwoUp. And when I took on the project, I thought, okay, this is going to be easy. Just go there, download the pieces, print it, and that's basically what I did. But there's a whole bunch of pieces. So which pieces do you print? So the first piece is, let's see, we got the right and we got the left printed out already. The slide is being printed right now. And I got some of the specifications here, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And we'll also put overlays in the video of these, but I just kind of wanted to get this so I keep this straight. So a couple different things to talk about with this design. So these I printed all with 30% fill. You probably could go with even a higher fill. If I had to do this over again, I might even go with 50. The heated bed on the DaVinci, knock on wood, no warping problems, etc. So it came out good. Did it at a 0.2 layer height, as you see, really, really clean. I'm going to touch a little bit of these up with sandpaper in the future. I printed them with medium supports, and that's part of what I want to talk about. So one of the things I did is when I printed the right, I actually printed it laying down like this. So it wanted to print in this orientation, but I turned it and printed it on the side. You can kind of see some of they printed actually with this side down like that, and this is the top. And you can kind of see how it actually truncated some of the camphor here. And also, I don't know if you can see the rod, while the rods fit in fine down here, and a little extra light, maybe it's still light in here. They were a little bit oblong, however, when I do press the rods in, they do kind of round out. So not a huge issue there, but again, I would suggest printing the part vertically like this. This is what I ended up doing with the left side when it did come in. So I printed it vertically, and I think it came out better. So again, my suggestion would be, if you're printing these, print these vertically. Also, the part numbers were rather confusing, and again, you know, this is a TwoUp XGR95_17. Now be careful, there's two of these where the 95 is changed to an 80. One is metric, one is imperial. I'm using the imperial with the existed bearings, so I chose the 95. There is only one of the left, so there isn't the same problem. So I'm not sure why the switch out between metric and that on the right, but be very careful. The left is TwoUp_XGL_V19. And again, I'll have these a little bit better in the video itself as overlays. So for this one, it took about 6.5 hours to print. This one took 9.5 hours to print. I printed this overnight, and it's saying right now the slide's going to be about 4.5 hours to print. So so you know, be prepared for some long times in printing this, but it really turned out nice. Now, the other piece that I want to mention is there is another piece that comes in the STL download called a TwoUp XPG_V17, which looks like this funny screw. And they actually, in the instructions, say print out 6 of them, that they're a peg. And what it appears, if you look at this, especially this one is better, there are threads, because what it appears is the part that I just listed is a threaded plug that goes over the top. Now it says print out 6, so it appears that the bearing goes in from the top, And actually, if you feel at the bottom here, and you print this out, there's like a little lip. It's more so prominent on the left than the right, and I think it could be part of the reason for the right is because remember I printed it like that. So, and also the threads are not as well formed up here as they are on this piece, having printed it vertically. So again, highly suggest printed vertically. I think I'll be able to make the right work, be able to clean it up a little bit. And then, so what it appears is 2 of the caps go here, and then 2 of the caps will go on the slider. So 6 caps, so that's where the caps go. So when you get it, also, what's in the STL download package for the Gantry is to convert to a Bowden extruder. Now, I've been kind of going back and forth which way to go, because I'm thinking that, you know, the Bowden extruder would be a lot lighter than mounting the whole extruder assembly on this. But I think for the short term, I'm going to go with the extruder assembly just mounted completely to the Gantry, and then maybe in the future upgrade to the Bowden or change to the Bowden. I've been reading a lot of back and forth that you can get a lot of plastic flow back up into the tube, but it makes a mess. And I think as solid as this is just amazingly solid. I am just really surprised that you know, the Quintessential Machines company just didn't contract for these to be, you know, injection molded, and because I got to believe that if you did these in volume, that it'd be cheaper than an MDF, and far better. It's just, you know, I haven't got these pressed in. I mean, but the fit and everything else. The guy that designed these, hats off to you. You did a phenomenal job. You know, even getting the threads inside here. And again, you can see this is kind of tapered, so when you go to put the bearings in, you know, I have not put them in yet, and I'll do a video on that when I assemble this whole gantry. But it does appear they go in from the top, that the top is larger than the bottom hole-wise. Now, for some reason, the right appears to have 2 sets of threads, one on top, one on bottom. Also, the bottom seems to be a little bit elongated more, so I don't know how that's going to work out. But again, I'm sure I'm going to get it to work. One of the tricks is, if it does appear to be a little bit tight, you know, use a heat gun, kind of warm it up and kind of finesse it a little bit. Be very careful. The ABS will warp very quickly. There is a fine line between good and bad in doing this. So anyways, wanted to get this out there. If you're thinking about doing this gantry, highly recommend it. You know, but it can be a little bit confusing. And again, as we go through, I get the slider built and we go to assemble the whole thing, I will do a video on assembling it all, or how I assembled it. Because I'm sure I'm going to have to pressure fit these, so I'm going to have to use clamps for compression to push the bearings in. I'll show a little bit of that to be helpful. You know, again, the motor and pulleys go through here, so that all looks like it should be pretty good. So anyways, hopefully this video helped and gets you on your way to upgrading your TwoUp printer as quickly as possible. See you in the next video.